Hey Greg, how are you? Jerry Prochazka here from Wargaming Alliance, and glad to be here.
So Jerry, talk about the history about Wargaming Alliance is, because you're part of Wargaming.net.
Yeah, we are. So Wargaming Alliance started a couple of years actually ago, and the first project signed was Total War Arena. I was lucky enough to be able to sort of pick that up right before we went into CBT, and so we did that back in August of 17. And then in February we went into OBT, and so that was sort of the first big games as a service, free-to-play kind of test project for Wargaming Alliance, which is Wargaming's first real efforts to partner with external development teams.
And then you guys just announced here at Reboot Development in Croatia, no less, a new partnership with Mad Head Games.
Yeah, no, I mean, coming to Croatia has been fantastic, being here, and it was here actually that the introduction was made. So. The Mad Head Games studios are in Novi Sad and in Belgrade, and they invited us out. We took, we demoed the product. We did a really good sort of due diligence of the studio, and it was there that we kind of realized, this team really has potential to do something amazing. They have the discipline, they have the dev practices, they have the passion, and most importantly, every room you go into in that studio, you can see sort of pictures of their players, of their fans, right? And it's like they always have audience first. And that is such a key thing for what we look for in developers, especially if you're going to run a game as a service, because it's year after year serving a community of players who are super passionate about your project.
So what does this mean for Wargaming Alliance? You guys are going to start opening your doors to multiple different genres of games, like adventure, casual, from battle royale in the future, maybe even that. Like what does that open for you?
Yeah, the ever battle royale.
Battle royale with cheese.
Yeah, battle royale with something. Obviously the projects that Wargaming has internally that are going on, we're probably not interested in those genres. As you know, warships, planes, these are vehicular shooters. Those are probably not the things that Wargaming Alliance is looking for. So, I would say stay away from shooters. But that doesn't mean that, a survival game with shooting or something else wouldn't be of interest, right? Definitely we're looking for games away from our core. But, you mentioned casual, for example. We're probably not the best position publisher to do casual games, but certainly, mid-core to hardcore games, absolutely, that's in our DNA. And we think our competitive advantage to a lot of publishers is our games as a service experience with really strong monetization skills and the ability to operate in many territories that a lot of other publishers usually don't have a lot of success in. So I think we truly have a global reach in that capacity.
That leads into my next question. What are some of the advantages of being part of Wargaming Alliance? Because you do have that global range of consumers and businesses, which a lot of people don't have. Sometimes a game is massively successful in the US, but not anywhere else, or massively successful in Europe and not anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that interested me in joining Wargaming was after spending 3 years at Riot Games, the Russian-speaking territories, CIS, Russia, we had never really had deep penetration. Not compared to Dota, and certainly not compared to World of Tanks,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
What was going on, right? And now getting to see that other side has really been fantastic. And the big mantra in a way is, you have an audience in mind, but again, different geographies bring different flavors to those core audiences. And because we are global, and I think we do a lot of basic things that every publisher does. We make sure we have product market fit, we scale quick when we see we have the opportunity, those sorts of things. But I do think, to your point, that it's a real advantage that we are, physically located all around the globe, and we have physical presence and the ability to talk to and work with local players and local influencers.
So we've seen big companies, big AAA companies, Square Enix become publishers. Devolver Digital plays a huge role in publishing, and now Wargaming.net branching off into Wargaming Alliance becoming publishing. What games, aside from Mad Head, would you like to see be put under your belt and under Wargaming Alliance?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think there are often people come to us knowing what our strength is, and they'll come with real-time strategy games, they'll come with more hardcore games. But Mad Head Games approached us with something that was hardcore, but definitely not a shooter or a historical war game, right? It was something outside our genre. And in a way, that is what we're looking for. We also have a keen eye for innovation. I think people say that a lot, but you know, as a gamer, I want to feel and experience some things that are new. And sometimes PUBG, Fortnite are great examples, right? It doesn't need to be that new. You just can allow gamers to have a very different experience, right? And that's what we look for a lot, right? So,
We're coming from a history from Riot Games. I want to talk a little about esports and
Yeah.
like how Wargaming Alliance is viewing esports, because obviously World of Warships is really big in Europe as an esport, and Total War Arena is being pushed as an esport as well, a very competitive gaming. Where do you see Wargaming Alliance heading into that direction?
Well, again, we're lucky because Wargaming already appreciates and knows the value of esports. I think I'm almost biased toward esports. You know, I used to run an organization called VVV Gaming, and that was sort of what I did while at Accenture before joining Riot. And coming into Riot with that esports background, it was a great fit too, because I was very supportive and excited about what Riot did with the esports efforts around League. But I think esports itself is not a magic bullet. It's got to be the right product. It's got to fit the right to me, it starts with community. And if community are organizing and they want to be competitive, I think that's the right time for the publisher to give them more tools. And as the community scales and grows its competitive gaming and its desire to compete, I think it's important for publishers to match that. So we try not to put esports before the community. We want to empower the community to sort of grow and create the demand and the energy and the players and the ecosystem that we can support and create esports around.
And the last question I have is, I know you said you couldn't talk much about it. Can you talk about what Mad Hat Games will be working on as part of Wargaming Alliance?
Yeah, no. We do plan to give sort of great amount of details. One of the reasons right now we're not is because we feel like this isn't the best time to talk about the product in the game, because to us as Wargaming Alliance and a Wargaming, this is just our second swing at the bat, so to speak, with other partner. And the most important thing that we want to do is we want to say, here's what our partnership with Creative Assembly and Total War Arena has brought, and here's our partnership with Mad Hat Games, and then ultimately let the products themselves and those experiences speak for themselves. So I promise you more will come out about the product, just not now at this event since we just announced the partnership.
There's E3 right around the corner, so
there is
maybe.
E3, there is Gamescom.
There is Gamescom too, yeah, that's true.
Exactly.